What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. I'm a little bit late on this story, but yes, Auburn has named their next head coach, Bryan Harsin, the next coach of the Auburn Tigers. Surprised me, surprised I think everyone, a name that was not even really talked about. I had not heard that name one single time until it was announced yesterday that he was going to be the coach. So yes, that surprised me. I'm going to give you my reaction. Again, I missed this yesterday. It's Christmas week. Got a lot of things going on, so couldn't quite jump on here last night. But I did want to give again my reaction. You guys know, if you follow me, I am an Auburn fan, so this one means a little bit more to me. And maybe my opinion on this, my take on this would be a little bit different compared to another team making a hire like this. So when I first heard the news, I thought that this was a horrible decision. I thought this was a terrible hire. I thought that this was about one of the worst things that they could do. I've had some time to digest it. I had some time to research him, exactly what he's done. And I don't think it's a home run hire, but it may not be a bad hire. We'll have to wait and see. It's one of those that we just don't know at this point. I'll kind of go back and tell you what he's done throughout his career, well, the things I do like about this hire and the things that maybe I don't necessarily like about this hire. So you look at his career. He played at Boise State, was a quarterback. He coached at Boise State as an assistant for several years. He was there as the offensive coordinator in 2006 through 2010. Had some really good offenses, had some really good quarterbacks. Then he went to Texas, where he was, I think, co-offensive coordinator for a couple of years. First year was not very good. Second year, they made a lot of improvement, though. That was nice to see. Then he went to Arkansas State for just 1 year, then took over at Boise State, and he's been there from 2014 to 2020, and has had success at Boise State as a head coach. But I don't want to think that that's necessarily going to translate to Auburn and the SEC. His records at Boise State: 12-2, 9-4, 10-3, 11-3, 10-3, 12-2, and then 5-2 this year. Hasn't had a bad year. Hasn't, only one year where he didn't get to 10 wins, not counting this year, of course. They didn't play 10 games, but he's done a very good job, very solid job. But you have to look at what he inherited. This is not a program that he improved or he built upon, because if anything, Boise State has actually gotten worse since he's been there. I know Chris Peterson is a great coach, one of the greats, but still, it's a little bit disappointing to see this Boise State team not play quite at that same level. Peterson at Boise State was 92-12, 92-12. Harsin at 66-19, still a very good record, but they have gone down from the Peterson era. They have not been as good. They have won the Mountain West most years that he's been there, so that's good to see. Recruiting wise, he has had the #1 class in the Mountain West almost every year, but it's still a class that's not even in the top 50 nationally. Again, this is Boise State. This is the Mountain West. That's not a huge surprise. So you look at what he's done there, and you have to wonder, he took over a program that was doing really, really well, and he's maintained that success to a certain extent, but it has not been quite the same. And so how is that going to translate to the SEC and Auburn? It's impossible to say. Again, that's why this is a hire that may or may not be a good hire. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't hate the move. I think there are guys that you could have got that would have been terrible, like a Will Muschamp, a head coach that has not been successful. If you get somebody like that, that's a terrible hire. This is not a guy that's been terrible. He's been very solid at Boise State, but it's not a home run hire. It's not a Hugh Freeze, who has proven he can do it in the SEC. It's not a Lane Kiffin, who has proven that his offense can be one of the top offenses in the country. It's not quite that type of hire, but it has potential to be a good hire. So this, again, is a wait-and-see type deal. I don't think he's going to do worse than Gus did. I don't think you're going to see this program fall off the map or anything. I think they'll still be consistent. As an on-the-field coach, I think he's going to be very good for them, especially developing quarterbacks, which is something they have really struggled in. He's done a pretty solid job in that area. And overall, his offenses have been, among the top offenses in the country. in his time at Boise State. He likes to throw the football, so you're going to see maybe a little bit of a change. You know, traditionally Auburn is a run-first team. That may be about to change. We'll have to wait and see how he kind of works all that in. You know, you've got Tank Bigsby coming back next year. He has to be the focal part of the offense. We saw this year with Auburn when he was in there and he was healthy. That's when they were at their best. Can he develop Bo Nix? Can he teach him how to stay in the pocket? You know, things like that. I think he's going to be good for that aspect. Defensively, it's going to come down to the defensive coordinator, I think. Who does he hire? Do they keep Kevin Steele? That would be great. Maybe you go out and get a Will Muschamp. That's going to be a very, very big factor in his success, I think, at Auburn. And not just that, but really the entire coaching staff, the assistant coaches that he hires, that is going to be monumental. That is going to determine their success, because you're talking about a guy that really has no ties to the South. And that is going to hurt him in recruiting, I think. But if he can get the right assistants around him that have a lot of ties, a lot of connections in the South, and they can recruit at a high level, then they're going to be successful, I think. And that's what it really comes down to, is recruiting. If they can get top 10 classes, I believe his coaching, you know, on the field coaching is good enough to make Auburn a very solid team. But if they can't get the players, they're just simply not going to be a team that can compete with Alabama and Georgia and LSU. You've got to recruit in the SEC. You've got to have top 10 classes if you want to finish near the top of this conference. And that's what that's the unknown here. How is he going to be able to recruit in the SEC? If he is successful there, I believe again that his on the field coaching is good enough to make Auburn a winner. I don't think this is a home run hire. I don't think they're going to be an Alabama or a Georgia. I just don't. And I think it would take a special coach to even be able to do that. I think it's a coach that is going to keep them from being terrible. I think they'll make a bowl game pretty much every year, kind of like with Gus. And then we'll just have to wait and see. If they can get the players, if they can get the talent to come in, I think Auburn has a chance to be about what they were before, a team that can maybe make a run at an SEC championship every few years. But again, I really go back to the firing of Gus Malzahn. I don't think it was a good decision, at least not right now. I think they should have waited one more year just to see. So time will tell. Time will tell. Again, my reaction is kind of mixed here. I'm not feeling great about it, but I don't think it's a disaster. I don't think it's an awful decision. I think it's one that will keep Auburn pretty much where they are now, and maybe there's potential for them to get better. But I don't think it's going to be a hire that's going to destroy the program and going to make them terrible, unless he can't recruit. Now, if he cannot recruit, then you've got a problem at Auburn. So those are my thoughts. Again, not really one way or the other on this hire. It's just going to be a wait and see. Hopefully he does well for the Tigers. And Auburn fans out there, I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Again, I just kind of circle back to the fact that yes, he's been successful at Boise State, but look at what he inherited. Look at what he inherited. He's not inheriting a team in Auburn that's winning the SEC every year. So that's going to be interesting to see how he does. And again, we'll just have to wait and see. So hopefully you all are having a nice holiday season. This is probably going to be the last video I do until next week, unless we get a big breaking news story or something. Next week we'll start to kind of get into the playoff games and maybe talk about some of the bigger bowl matchups. But I'm going to be kind of shutting this channel down for Christmas, doing some things with the family and all. I will still have some videos over on the gaming channel. If the what used to be the main SG1 Sports channel, or I guess it is the main channel still, the SG1 Sports channel. So if you like those simulations, if you like that, make sure you check out that channel, because there will still be content posted there today and then probably this weekend as well. Going to kick off an 8-team playoff. A lot of people want to see an 8-team playoff. We're not going to get it in real life, so we're going to give it to you on NCAA football. I'm planning to reveal the bracket for that on Saturday. So if you're into that, again, check out that channel. But we're going to keep it regular college football talk here on this channel. You won't see any gaming, any simulations, and that's why I made this channel. So again, hopefully you all have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Actually, I'll probably be back before New Year's. But anyways, enjoy the rest of the bowl games. And we will talk more about, of course, the college football playoff next week, I'll give you my predictions on who I think is going to win each game and ultimately who I think is going to win the national championship. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports College Football Channel.